My name is Apostolos Veizis. I'm a medical doctor, and currently I'm the executive director for INTERSOS in Greece. INTERSOS is a humanitarian organization that is working for more than 30 years around the world. We are an organization who are responding to emergencies, to people in need, responding to disasters, and having the objective always targeting the most vulnerable ones, who are children and women. So as INTERSOS, we are having 180 projects. We work in 20 countries, and in most of those countries, we see situation of internally displaced population. We see situations of climate refugees. We see situation of people fleeing war, and we see situations of people who are seeking protection. My personal experience comes from Greece, where we are receiving people who are seeking protection. People, mainly nationalities coming to Greece, are people coming from Afghanistan, from Syria, from Somalia, from Congo, and from other countries. As you probably know, there are about 82.5 million people on the move. That includes asylum seeker, refugees, and migrants. So as more the situation is developing around the world with inequalities, as more wars are going on, as more climate change and climate crisis is ongoing, so we will see more and more people on the move. People who would seeking food, people who would seek housing, people who would seek protection, and of course, also people seeking health. So in a way, the dynamic, unfortunately, it is not developing positively. So more instability, more wars, and more violation of human rights will be people moving. And what we see those days, we see more and more families moving. And those people are looking for protection. And they're looking for protection on the neighboring countries. They're looking for protection on far away. The definition of protection, it is not defined by borders. Definition of protection is which country would provide the safety. And we need to understand the safety for a person, not only when he leaves a war place and he goes to another place. We need to consider safety as a whole, meaning access to shelter, access to food, access to protection, access to health. So we would like to see people having the same needs and the same rights like any other people around the world. I think it's important to discuss, first of all, what refugees are facing today. If with existing legal framework, the refugees are not accessing protection, or today refugees are on the move and the borders are being closed and people are facing barriers, and there is existing a legal frame that you can reference, saying, based on Geneva Convention 1951 or the Protocol of 67, the situation needs to be addressed in that way. But when we are having a situation where people are fleeing their countries because there is no country anymore, or there is no village anymore, and there is no house anymore because due to the climate change, then it's more and more difficult to justify because there is no legal framework. I think we need to ensure that the existing legal framework, maybe it's an old one, we can look for a new one, it's implemented properly. And then, of course, as needs of the people around the world are changing, we need to adapt this legal frame to the needs of the people, to the needs of the climate refugees, or to the needs of the people who are on the move. What I've been seeing the last years, I've been working for more than 25 years on the humanitarian field, I see the situation is becoming more and more complex. It's becoming more and more complex because the needs of people are increasing, but also I see that more and more the governments are not willing to respond to those needs. So we see the government externalizing the assistance, we see the government externalizing the problems, and we see the government building more and more walls in order to stop those people seeking safety. As a humanitarian organization that we would like to help refugees are different type of difficulties. The first difficulty is the difficulty of accessing those people. Second difficulty is bureaucratic procedures that different states put in front of you, so it makes your life more and more difficult. And what we see more and more, we see criminalization of the work of the organization. So we see states criminalizing and presenting the organization as part of a smuggling network or part of gang network. So the criminalization of solidarity provided through the organization. So European Union, for example, is criminalizing refugees first, considering them economical migrants, is criminalizing solidarity, and is punishing people because they're providing water, a blanket, or food. So I think the biggest problem and the biggest disease is by criminalizing solidarity. Personally, I don't like putting tags. For me, there are no asylum seeker, refugees, migrants, undocumented migrants, climate refugees. For me, are people in need. I'm a medical doctor and I see them as people. Of course, when we talk about refugees and their needs, we need to consider also and put the question to ourselves, if I am a refugee, what will be my needs? Our needs to have a shelter, a place to stay, our needs to have food, our need to protect my family, its need to work, it needs to live. And I don't want to see myself as a parasite that, I'm depending on other people. I think what we need to consider in all the situation of refugee population, we need to consider the solution of integration. Integration of those people in the societies, because that will bring more sustainability and stability to the lives of people. People are not born to be living in camps. Camps, it's a temporary solution, but unfortunately, most of the time, it remains a chronicle a result or a chronicle response to the situation. I think states that are not willing to take their responsibilities, so they are saying we don't want to invest too much because these people have to go back while the war is ongoing. So you are seeing situations at the border between Belarus and Poland. You see the situation of refugees in Greece or in the Balkans. So we don't have to go very far away to see those situations. So this is not because Poland or Lithuania or Greece are poor countries. No, they are doing it on purpose because they don't want refugees. It's a very clear position on that. So here it has to do with the lack of political will. It's not because lack of resources. When you see a checklist between eligibility and assistance, we forget as human beings that we are talking about humans in front of us and not numbers. Unfortunately, the governments are treating people as numbers. And if you treat numbers, you can delete them, you can add numbers, and a number becomes a number. So eligibilities and criteria are important to implement different type of projects because also you need to prioritize. If you ask me a question, if there are inequalities in different countries, of course there are inequalities in different countries. So if I'm working with refugees in a country, I need also to look at the needs of the local population, because sometimes local population can be poorer than the refugees because they are poor themselves. So the assistance has also to address those people. Or if, for example, if we talk about situation in different countries, you may have unemployment in the country and people, they are being presented that the refugees are going to take your work and your job. Can we offer people today safety? Yes, we can. Can we offer people today shelter? Yes, we can. Can we offer people today food? Yes, we can. Can we offer them medical care? Yes, we can. For how long? That's a question. If we want to address it properly, we can minimize this period of dependence and we can make these people to be active in our societies. A discussion that's going on for years and years in organizations like United Nations, on the General Assemblies, where different countries are presenting their long and short story. But theoretically, we all forget that we are there to assist people. We all forget that as human beings, we need to be next to each other. We are losing our humanity. We are losing our solidarity. These two are elements that we don't need to lose them. Because if you lose your humanity and solidarity, even if you have the money and the wealth, that's not enough. I think it's very important to maintain the spirit of solidarity. Solidarity, it's the biggest assistance we can provide to people. Let me give you an example. Currently, there are about 20,000 people living in the camps in Greece. I'm talking about asylum seekers and refugees. So today, the one who is asylum seekers is eligible to food. If you are recognized refugees, you don't have access to food. So currently at the moment, because of this eligibility, about 60% of the people living in those camps, they don't have access to food. So for a month now, children, women, and men don't get food. Is this acceptable? Of course not. What the problem refugees face today? First of all, in many places, refugees, they face a wall in front of them, so they cannot reach safety. Secondly, they have to make long journeys in order to find a space for their family. And on their way, they lose their children, they lose their parents, they lose their members of the family. And when they arrive in the different countries, they are put into detention or they are put in horrible camps to punish them for the only mistake that they did that they were looking for safety and protection of their family. And of course, when it comes to assistance, this assistance in many places is being given with very limited resources. And those people, it's like being asked also at the same time if they want to go back to their country, because these people are being considered as migrants. So in a way, the problems that the refugees are facing today is that they are not being recognized. So more and more we talk about migrants. Doing movement from your country or being a migrant, it's nothing wrong with that. But being a refugee, it's being a refugee. When the states, they do not take the responsibilities, then human traffickers or smugglers, they will use this opportunity to benefit from those people. When it comes then to the hands of the states, sometimes people are misusing or mistreating those people because they want to punish them in order to pass a message to other people not to come. So in a way, the reason why people are being misused or abused is because, as I said in the beginning, those people are seen as numbers. So I think if refugees, they had safe and legal passages and they could apply for their asylum and for their protection, they don't need to use the smugglers. And I think they're using the smugglers as the last solution, or they don't have to lose their lives. So in a way, I think we as societies, we need to be more responsible. And it's not only the government, because the government are elected from us. And I think today we are talking about the refugees. Tomorrow you can talk about me. Tomorrow I can talk about you. So I think everybody of us can be a refugee one day. So if we do not want to have this thing happening to us, then we need to take care of other people, because tomorrow they'll take care of us. That's how it goes. This world, this globe, it is a place that is for all of us. And I think we need to take care of the place we are living. We need to take care of our neighbors. We need to take care of our people. And we need to take care of everybody. We can do it being united. And I think if we have that in mind, there is enough resources for everybody. I think those crises, be that climate change or climate crisis or pandemics, are, let's say, bells who are ringing to the human beings, telling them it is still not very late. But I'm afraid that this will be very late and we'll not be able to talk about it because we'll not be there. Well, when it comes to the role of individual for dignified place for everybody around the world, I think we need to ask a question to ourselves. Who I am, what I'm doing, and where I'm going. I don't want to put big words by saying I'm the citizen of the world, even though the last 25 years, I've been a doctor without borders. I've been traveling in many countries and providing assistance. And I always had in front of me a person, a human being in need. Of course, I know that there are countries, I know there are borders, and I respect them. But putting the people before borders and before countries will allow you to think wider. And that will bring not only the changes of the situation today, but that will bring also a better world for tomorrow, for us and for our children. My message to the people is think about people like you think about yourself. Think as a human for a human. I think today it is the moment, and today is the time that all of us, by being united and sharing the resources, will be living in a better world. Better world for us, better world for others, better world for everybody.